Hey folks, how's it all going? Hope you're keeping safe out there. Now today is another Marvel Legends discussion video, and let me start this off with saying this one took me a long time to do. Now most of you out there are probably familiar with the Disney Plus TV show What If. Well, I say Disney Plus TV show, a streaming show, is that the right word for it? But anyway, it's in the Marvel cinematic universe. The idea is basically the Watcher Uatu guides you through a bunch of different universes where history took place slightly differently. And I like quite a few of them. I like Captain Carter, I like the Marvel zombie stuff. It's all pretty damn good. But the main reason I like it is because, and some of you may not know this, it's actually based on a very, very long-running series? Or a long-standing or long-running idea in the Marvel comic books, and that is the original What If comics. Now these were a great series of comic books which, like the show, took the Marvel universe and changed usually one little tiny thing in history, and had a look at how, well, the butterfly effect kicked in, and how it changed history and what weird creations were created. And over the years there have been some great stories and just great ideas, and it's persisted up until like modern day. You still get What If comics being produced, not as a regular ongoing series nowadays, but like every now and again you'll get a one shot or a mini series, and they are still 9 times out of 10 really worth a read. But here's something I find really interesting. Do you know there's actually no official Marvel Legends figures connected to the What If comics outside of the What If streaming show? And the classic comics had some really great designs. So I've been racking my brains over it, and so I've come up with this. My own little idea of a wave. My Marvel Legends What If comic book inspired wave. Now if you've seen any of my videos before, you know I normally like to do retro waves, and I follow the retro wave formula of 6 figures, 2 repaints, 2 kit bashes with 1 or 2 new parts, and 2 entirely new sculpts. But I'll be honest, I can see this being quite a bit of a niche interest in the Marvel. I can see this not really being a overly popular thing, the classic comic book What Ifs. So to try and rein back the expense, or the imaginary expense, I'm just settling on 6 repaints / kit bashes. No new molds really needed. Okay, so 6 figures. Up first, we've got to start really with the very first What If issue. What if Spider-Man joined the Fantastic Four? And the basic premise here is, early in Spider-Man's career, he goes to the Fantastic Four. He tries to join them because he thinks he can make a bit of money to help pay for, well, his Aunt May and just get by. And the Fantastic Four turn him down, he leaves, and things continue as normal. But in this What If issue, instead, the Invisible Girl, Susan Storm, the future Susan Richards, calls out to him, asks him to come back, and they hash out, okay, yeah, we can give you some money. There is a bit of money in the older Fantastic Four coffers. So Peter Parker reveals himself to them, and he officially joins the Fantastic Four, now being renamed the Fantastic Five. And Peter Parker / the Fantastic Four's history continues with them being a combined group, which is, it's only one issue, but it's really quite cool. So my idea was, well, let's make a figure of this Spider-Man, and what better figure to start with than a repaint of the Amazing Fantasy Spider-Man that came out last year. So here is my digital mock-up. As you can see, it's just the Amazing Fantasy Spider-Man with blue instead of black on the bodysuit, and a 5 on the spider. It's only like a real simple bit of change to the already existing figure, but I think you'll agree it's quite striking, and I'm actually really proud of it. I think it looks really, really great. Okay, on to the next one. It's actually one of my favourite What If issues. Coming from What If the Fantastic Four had different superpowers. And the premise here is the Fantastic Four go on their journey, they crash, they get hit by cosmic rays, but this time they get different powers. Ben Grimm, rather than turning into things, sprouts a pair of large reptilian wings that can allow him to fly at high speeds. Johnny Storm, rather than becoming the Human Torch, instead becomes a living robot. And Susan Storm gets basically the traditional Mr. Fantastic powers of being super stretchy. But Mr. Fantastic, his body explodes and he just gets left as a independently living super intelligent psychic brain. Yeah, they form a whole new group of Fantastic. Well, they form a group of the Fantastic Four, but it's a very weird bunch. I do really like the designs. I like the powers. I really like the premise of it. But of course, this being Fantastic Four, they eventually run across Doctor Doom. And in this story, Doctor Doom attempts to destroy them, and in a last-ditch effort, Reed Richards tries some sort of mental combat with him. Doctor Doom says none of that, tries blowing them both up, and what ends up happening is Reed Richards effectively downloads his brain into Doctor Doom's body, erasing the mind of Victor Von Doom, and taking over Doctor Doom's body. He then goes on to change the colours to blue instead of green, renames himself Mr. Fantastic, and joins the team. And that's the figure I think we could get. So I present to you now Blue Doctor Doom, the Reed Richards Mr. Fantastic from this What If issue. As you can see, it's just the Doctor Doom figure, the retro version, but change all the greens to blues and put a Fantastic Four on him, and I actually think it really works. I know this is a really silly, simple, just recolouring, but I really like it, and I think it actually, works fantastically. Okay, next one, moving slightly further down the timeline of What Ifs. What if the Avengers had never been? And the figure I'm going to get from this one is one you probably wouldn't be expecting. Now, the story of this What If is, rather than the Avengers staying together, they separate right after capturing the Hulk. The Hulk goes off, the rest of the team disbands, and Iron Man is the only one left to think to himself, we really need to rein in the Hulk, but I can't contact Thor because he's gone off somewhere. Giant Man and the Wasp have gone off, and things don't work out really well. In an attempt to actually stop the Hulk and Namor, who he's now teamed up with, Iron Man calls in Rick Jones, manages to convince Giant Man and the Wasp to come back, and he invents them all suits of armour for themselves, in some interesting colours. But what I really like here is he builds Rick Jones a green Iron Man suit, presumably because he knows of his connection to the Hulk, and it's kind of cool. It's like a prototype version of the Guardsman armour that would appear in Marvel Comics years later. And it's, as I say, I kind of like it. Admittedly, the story doesn't end really well for Tony Stark. He ends up dying. But the Avengers that are left have these Iron Man suits. And it's one of these that I think would make a really great figure. So here's my idea of a Rick Jones Iron Lad costume. It's the 20th anniversary Marvel Legends Iron Man figure, recoloured in these great, like, greeny yellow and turquoisey green. I actually think it really, really works. I like garish colours. I mean, really all you have to do is re-release that figure and maybe sculpt a new Rick Jones head, but apart from that, I think it'd be a really easy and simple one to make and really damn striking. Okay, moving forward a couple of decades into I think like the early 80s, late 70s, onto the second edition of What If. This is quite a popular one. It's what if Venom had possessed the Punisher? The idea being Frank Castle gets the Venom symbiote after Spider-Man gets rid of it. And yeah, you can imagine this, it's quite a striking design. It's really silly, I think, in a way as a concept, but it also really works. The skull, the black, the white, it's really striking, and even today, like, fans really like this idea, and it appears in fan art quite often. And I know some of you might be thinking, who are Marvel Legends fans, yes, we did get a figure of this a couple of years ago as a Marvel Universe app exclusive, but that was just a Venom figure with a Punisher skull slapped on the front of it, and the Venom figures have come on quite a bit since then. So my idea is, just a Venom figure with a Punisher skull slapped on it, but using the more recent Amazon 3-pack Venom figure, which I think you'd agree is a fantastic figure and looks really great with the skull. You could possibly give him some guns to hold. I don't know if there's any that would fit those hands he comes with, but you could always maybe borrow some larger gun holding hands from some other figures. But even just as a simple Venom with a Punisher logo on it, it still looks pretty damn cool. Okay, moving forward a few more decades, this is a personal one I kind of like. It's from What If Thor was raised by the Frost Giants. And the idea of this is pretty simple. They just flipped the classic Thor story, so rather than Odin taking in Loki to raise, Odin lost and Thor was adopted by the giants of Jotunheim and raised as a frost giant. including being the favoured son of Laufey, the king of the Frost Giants. He would eventually claim Laufey's hammer, which they invented for this comic book, and slowly turn blue. Really weird. But then again, Loki was blue and he turned pink when he was raised by the gods of Asgard, so I can't see why Thor couldn't turn blue being raised by the Giants of Jotunheim. But yeah, either way, Thor became like the champion of the Giants of Jotunheim, turned blue, and I think looked really badass. And as far as figures go, I think it actually kind of works. I took the idea of the Unworthy Thor figure that was in an SDC box set, and the Odinson figure, which was basically the same thing but had different chest and arm, combined the two together to give this frost giant version of Thor. And I think you might disagree with me, but I think it looks really, really nice. I had to fudge designing a frost hammer for him, so excuse that. But I think you'll agree the colours are striking, the design is interesting, and as a curio goes in a Marvel Legends collection, yeah, they'd be a damn good one. Now on to another one, which is definitely the most recent and the one that gave me the most hassle on Photoshop, I must admit. From What If Miles Morales Became Captain America? Basically the idea is, rather than being bitten by a spider, Miles Morales in this universe was exposed to a version of the Captain America serum that was stolen by his uncle, got really swole, and became the Captain America of the modern day, working under S.H.I.E.L.D. with Nick Fury, as well as his girlfriend, who I think is still in this series Adrian Toomes' granddaughter, but in this book she takes on the title of the Falcon. And yeah, I think it's a really great costume, and it was a pain to create as a figure, digitally of course, but here it is. I took a slightly thicker body, the modern articulated Spider-Man body, put the details on, and oh yeah, one more thing you need, a shield. I think this looks really, really cool though. Give him a really articulated body, something you really want for a athletic character like this version of Captain America is in the comic books. And I think it's really dynamic. It's really just a new head with some paint on details onto a very blank body and a shield, so not very expensive, but you must admit it's quite striking. So yeah, that's it. Those are my ideas for the full wave, and just a reminder, here they all are. Your Fantastic 5 Spider-Man, your Fantastic 4 Reed Richards Doctor Doom, your Iron Lad Rick Jones, Punisher Venom, Frost Giant Thor, and Miles Morales Captain America. And yeah, the 6 figures are definitely striking together, aren't they? I was thinking, like, what would you do if I had to put a Build-A-Figure into this wave, but I was kind of thinking more along the lines of a retro wave where they don't include a Build-A-Figure, because there's not really many things you could do, because there aren't many large Build-A-Figure sized characters in What If that are unique to What If. I suppose if you had to do one, maybe as a Build-A-Figure or deluxe release, maybe go into What If Rick Jones Became the Hulk. I mean, to be fair, it would just be that, personally I would just do it as that recently released 20th anniversary Hulk figure, and just change the colours, make them a bit more vibrant, blue pants, green. I mean, it doesn't look too bad, but yeah, actually no, yeah, I'd buy that. So yeah, folks, that was my idea of a What If Marvel Legends wave. Just a little bit of self-indulgence here, I must admit. If you like the video, if you like the ideas, please leave a like. If you've got any ideas of your own or comments, please leave them down below. If you've not subscribed already to the channel, please subscribe for more videos in the future. And until next time, folks, I want you all to stay safe, stay sane, and keep on rolling. And I'll see you all next time. Ta-da!